A very good evening and welcome to yet another edition of the program Times Exclusive here on Times Network. My name is Brian Banda. Glad you could join us tonight. In this edition of the program, I'm very privileged and honored to have His Excellency Ambassador Liu Hongyang, the Chinese ambassador to Malawi.
Wow, I think K-Peach looks amazing on that wall.
The electric blue cuts it for me.
Come on, look at the tango, candy pink, burnt orange, okay, sweet lime.
Do you like what you see? You can dream it and live it. Download your Rainbow app today and begin the magic of transforming your home into a fabulous space. Rainbow Paints. Peace of mind. Part of the deal.
He is finishing his tour of duty, and we are honored that we are able to sit down to look at some of the achievements and his stay has been in this great nation of Malawi. Ambassador Hongyang, what a great honor and privilege to have you tonight. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Brian. It is my honor as well.
How would you describe your 3 years? 3 years, isn't it?
3 years and 9 months.
Oh, so almost 4 years.
Almost 4 years.
Let's quickly look at how you felt when you were told that you were coming to Malawi almost 4 years ago.
But actually, I was very excited when I knew that I'm going to be posted in this great nation, Malawi, and this great continent, Africa. And actually, back in 1985, when I started my diplomatic career, I was posted to Ethiopia for 3 years. And so I said to my colleagues and my superiors that I'm coming back to my home in Africa. So I'm very, very excited.
So Africa has not been new in as far as your career is concerned.
No, and I think I'm coming home. Yes.
Yeah.
Because, being a diplomat, first posting is so important.
Yeah.
And it feels like a first thing that you do in your life, being a diplomat posted first. So when I knew that I would be posted in Ethiopia, that was a time when Africa was suffering from famine, and especially in Africa.
Yeah.
But African continent is so fascinating. I was thinking that Africa it's a big safari where I can see not only the people there, but also the natural beauty and all those animals that we could see in the TV programs like Animal Kingdoms in Africa. So I came. I really enjoyed myself.
And you arrived in Malawi 3 years ago and 9 months ago. How has been your experience, Your Excellency?
Well, as I said, I was very, very much excited.
Yeah.
And I still remember I flew in from Addis. Addis was my first home in Africa.
Yeah.
And Lilongwe would be the second.
So after Addis Ababa, you went back to China?
Yeah, I went back to China.
Okay.
And then I served overseas posts,
Okay.
including Singapore, a Chinese embassy in Singapore.
Okay.
And the permanent mission of China to the United Nations in New York.
Okay.
And then the Chinese embassy in Berlin.
Okay.
And then the Chinese embassy in Jakarta, Indonesia. And then I became the Chinese ambassador to a small island country named Timor-Leste, East Timor.
Okay.
And 3 years there. And then I was cross-posted into Malawi.
So you have been a career diplomat?
Yeah, I've been to all the continents, apart from Antarctica.
Okay. And I know I may not be precise in this question, but in all these countries that you have been, how do you compare that with Malawi?
Well, it's pretty hard to compare because the conditions, the stages of development are not the same. But there is one thing I could compare, which is the people, the people's attitude, the people's belief in their country, and patriotism. In Malawi, I see everywhere, and especially as I said, when I flew in from Addis, that was July 17th, 2018. That was dry season, and above the sky, I saw everything looks like a little bit barren during those times. But when the plane flew over the lake, the Malawi lake, I see jewelry in this barren, brownish land. It's so blue, azure, and the skyline and the lake surface merged into one when you look into the distance, with clouds just around you. It was such a beautiful experience. And then when I touched down, start my duties, I visited many places in Malawi. Almost every person I met was so friendly to China. And I could tell the Malawians are very intelligent and hardworking. And I still remember I tweeted a gentleman who was working as a shoe polisher at the Four Seasons Hotel in Blantyre, the gate up there.
Yeah.
And I was talking to them.
Yeah.
And I said, and a lot of retweets, a lot of comments. So I can tell that from this gentleman, Malawians, ordinary Malawians, are really very, very hardworking. Yes.
What would you describe as some of your achievements since you came to Malawi as an ambassador?
China and Malawi established formal diplomatic ties only 15 years ago. That was 2007 December. And this is not a long relationship.
Yeah.
But I think I have accomplished a lot during almost 4 years office here in Malawi. And politically speaking, I have consolidated our bilateral relationship. Last August, President Xi Jinping had a phone conversation with President Lazarus Chakwera. They discussed a lot of things and also give instructions and directions as to how and where that we are going to further develop our bilateral relations. And also, I saw the establishment of the Malawi-China Parliamentary Friendship Group.
Yeah.
And I had a very good discussion with Gotani Hara, the Speaker of the Malawi Parliament. And we also agreed to further develop a bilateral relationship through parliamentarians. So, and I think that was the first parliamentary friendship group set up in Malawi. So I think the Speaker and I have set an example for the friendship groups in
So there has been
Malawi.
a delegation from Malawi to China.
We are working on that.
Okay. So
Yes.
there hasn't been any exchange yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can inform you that the chairman of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress, His Excellency Mr. Li Jianshu, will have a video conferencing meeting with her Right Honorable Speaker, Dr. Gotani Hara, soon.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there anything else apart from the relationship between Malawi Parliament and China Parliament that you can cite as some of your achievements here?
Yes, during the telephone conversation between my president and President Lazarus Chakwera, my president invited the president Chakwera to visit China when the situation permits.
Yeah.
And this is a political field. With regard to economic cooperation, and there are many, many achievements. The first is August 5th last year, Malawi became the 149th member joining the Belt and Road Initiative.
Yeah.
And this is an economic initiative that has already had almost 2/3 of the countries in the world to join in, including 32 international multilateral institutions, financial institutions. And with the join in this Belt and Road Initiative, and I think Malawi will benefit a lot in these programs.
And let's quickly talk about the monetary support that your government gives to Malawi. A lot of people have said that the loans that the African countries get from China are much better compared to the loans from other parts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
You don't attach so many conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Is that deliberate to befriend Africa?
Yes, and actually we have been providing loans on very concessional conditions,
Yeah.
financial conditions, to African countries, including Malawi. And with our loans and assistance, we do not attach any political conditions. We provide the loans. We don't say, oh, you have to change this,
Yeah.
you have to change that, and pay attention to this and pay attention to that. And if you don't, we are not going to provide the loans. We don't do that. It is not in our habit. So actually, and also the beauty of the Chinese loans to Africa focus on infrastructure building, human capacity building, like take Lilongwe for instance, the parliament, the BICC, the Chitiba Road,
Yeah.
Ambassador Hotel, and also over there is the villa and the presidential villa over there,
Yeah.
and a lot of things. And recently, China has provided 450 million RMB, and that is equivalent to 6.7 million US dollars to uplifting the capacity in the Lilongwe water board.
Yeah.
So people in Lilongwe are going to enjoy more safe water in the future. And apart from that, Chinese government has been providing scholarships and training programs to Malawians. Till today, for the past 15 years, we have provided over 2,000 scholarships and training opportunities. And what is more is that we have sent 9 medical teams serving Malawians in the city of Lilongwe and in the city of Muzuzu. And they're helping a lot of Malawians to fight against various diseases. And also with the COVID coming in, and my government has been providing Malawi government with PPEs, including masks, the gowns, protective gowns for the doctors and nurses, and the oxygen cylinders and sort of equipment that when you breathe with, when you have severe condition, respiratory equipment, that sort of thing. And all this donations of the medical materials has been worth $3 million till today.
And we have also seen that Chinese companies or government sometimes taking properties after countries have failed to service their loans. What do you make of those developments? We saw that in Uganda and in other parts of the world.
Well, actually, that's a false accusation.
Okay.
And even if the country is not in a position or has the ability to repay
Yeah.
at this time, according to the agreements,
Yeah.
and my government and the banking systems will continue the negotiations with the countries concerned and how best to cope with this. And actually, we have written off a lot of debts
Okay.
in Africa. So that is a totally false accusation. We don't take, this is 21st century.
Yeah.
We have been fighting together with African brothers and sisters against colonialism. So we will discuss and consult with African brothers and sisters how best way to proceed, and even to prolong the payment or to provide a grace period for the payment. And we don't take away by force. We don't have a single soldier in Africa, so how could we take away
Yeah.
things?
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
So those stories are
nonsense.
not are not
Nonsense.
That's nonsense.
Nonsense.
So those
Totally.
stories are not true at all.
No, not at all.
There have been also concerns that the Chinese government empowers state companies, and when they come here, they are like at added advantage in competing with the local companies in terms of bids. What would be your reaction to those concerns?
But I think those concerns come from nowhere, and actually, I'm not sure whether you are familiar with the bidding process. I'm not,
Okay.
but I haven't been approached by any single Chinese companies to me saying that you need to support me in this, or you need to discuss with relevant authorities
Yeah.
in the government. No, I haven't been approached even once, and this is a pure business. So they handle their own business according to their comparative advantage of the companies. And actually, many Chinese companies have been having presence all over the world. They have the capacity, they have the profession, and they have the know-how, and they have the financial resources, technology, and so that is our business.
Yeah, but what about that assertion that the Chinese government empowers financially their companies? I wanted you to comment on that.
No, we don't empower the Chinese companies. We provide the loans, concessional loans to the government.
Okay.
Government will start a bidding process.
Okay.
So we don't provide the direct financial resources to the companies. No.
Let's quickly talk about the presence of the Chinese companies and your people in Africa, including Malawi. The concern sometimes, Your Excellency, is that when they come, they do businesses that can be ably done by Malawians. I don't know if you are aware of these concerns coming in from Malawians.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
And I think there are different levels of development with regard to countries and also with regard to companies. We do have very big companies, whether it is state-owned or it is a private, like Huawei, and it's doing the job that nobody can do. And also with construction works, and I think a lot of Chinese companies are very capable of doing that. To say this, I don't mean that there are no Malawian companies who could do this, who could not do this. But I think business is business. But most concerns come from the small businesses, that is, who are doing the retailing, shops, for instance, in the streets, or the shops in the faraway villages. And I think I should say it is a compliment to what the Malawian business are doing as well. But I've been talking to the Chinese small businessmen. You should focus on uplifting all your produce. Do the wholesaling rather than the retailing. So I think that they are going to listen to me, and things will improve.
That they will go away from a retailing aspect and to do other
This is
business.
what I told them.
Yeah.
This is what I told them. But with regard to their business, they say we are doing as a businessman.
Yeah.
And if the Malawian government permits us to do in whatever trade, in wherever that they permit, we could do that. I said, I just want to give you some advice on that. Yes.
Let's quickly talk about COVID. There's been a big discussion and disagreements on where COVID came from. Others have said that it came from China. Do you agree with that assertion?
No, not at all.
Not at all?
And I think, no, not at all. And let me explain. And I think finding the origin of COVID, the coronavirus, is of scientific and medical importance to all the people across the world. And right now, the world is still with the COVID. The fight is still going on. And I don't think it is right or sane to play a political blame game at this moment.
You think it's a political blame game?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think it is also wrong to disrespect science with politics. Around the world, up to today, there are many speculations as the origin of the COVID. I heard many. For instance, the vaping laws in the US back in September 2019. White lawns through vaping, and many young people died. And the Fort Detrick laboratory in the United States, where in the adjacent area the vaping lawns happened. And they found in the samples of those people who tragically died of some flu they call in US and in Europe. They take samples. COVID is there. This is right before December 2019, when it was first reported in Wuhan, China. And what puzzles me even today, Wuhan hosted a military game, international military game, in October 2019. And then in December, this virus was first identified in Wuhan. I have been thinking, if Wuhan had not hosted this military game, would it be possible the virus would have not been found in Wuhan? Is it coincidence or it is a mystery? I don't know. So let us leave the origin tracing to the scientists, not the politicians. This is not the time to play this political blame game. That's our position.
The former president of the United States of America, Donald Trump, used to call coronavirus the China virus. How did you feel when he said that?
Well, that is ridiculous. And, and it is so disrespectful to a country and its people. And you find viruses of all kinds. You cannot label them with a country. So we utterly reject that sort of labeling.
Are you surprised at the havoc that COVID has done to the entire globe today?
Yes, very much. It is a sad thing to see. And I think combating COVID needs international, global solidarity and efforts, and also different strategies. We have to compare them, whether it is good for the people. To me, fighting COVID is also a human rights issue. Whether you take life seriously or not, it is a very detrimental to the belief of human rights. And actually, we can compare two figures. In the United States, 1 million people have died due to COVID. And in China, 6,000 people died. And the population of China is 1.4 billion.
Yeah.
And the United States, 300 million. So to compare this, and everybody can tell which government or which party cares more about the life of the people. So, and we never blame them. And because they have their national conditions, we have ours. So I think the Communist Party of China and the Chinese government attaches great importance to human rights issues. And actually, the CPC is the most reliable party in the world, I believe, in terms of carrying its people, whether in terms of fighting the COVID or bringing the population to a better living. And we have been fighting poverty, the oldest disease in the world, for centuries. And only for the past 40 years, we have managed successfully lift 800 million out of poverty. And last year, we have realized zero absolute poverty in China. What an achievement. The world should know this.
Your Excellency, allow us to take a short break. We'll continue our discussion momentarily.
Thank you.
If you're just joining us, this is Times exclusive, airing on Times Network. I'm joined by His Excellency Ambassador Liu Hongyang, the Chinese ambassador to Malawi. He's wrapping up his tour of duty, and what a great opportunity that we are able to share his experience in Malawi before he leaves this beautiful country. The program tonight is coming to you under the courtesy of Rainbow Paints. We'll hear from them, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion with Ambassador Yang.
Wow, I think K-Pitch looks amazing on the door.
The electric blue does it for me.
Come on, look at the tango, candy pink, bent orange, okay, sweet lime.
Do you like what you see? You can dream it and live it. Download your Rainbow app today and begin the magic of transforming your home into a fabulous space. Rainbow Paints. Peace of mind. Part of the deal.
This is Times exclusive, airing on Times Network. My name is Brian Banda. We are now in the second and the last part of our program tonight. My interaction with His Excellency Ambassador Liu Hongyang, the outgoing ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Malawi. You mentioned before we went for a commercial break that 1.4 billion people, the impact is not so severe compared to other countries, including America. How were you able to control the infection rate that much?
Yeah, that's not a mystery. It's the right policy designed by the central government. What we have in mind is the livelihood of the people, and especially the health and life of the people. We have a people-centered party and people-centered policy, so we have to implement every policy around the people. And when this virus suddenly struck the population in China, we were taken aback, and we didn't know, and actually nobody knew what it was. So the first thing we did was to report to the WHO. We report to them this is something new, coronavirus, and to alert them. And also we inform all the other countries about this new coronavirus, first identified in Wuhan. And because the nature of the contagion is so severe, and a lot of people got infected, and the local government didn't know what to do. And then the central government intervened, and isolating all those people, setting up makeshift hospitals, 2 of them in Wuhan, each with a capacity of tens of thousands beds within 2 weeks. So gradually and also speedily, we control the situation. And since then, we knew, and also we knew from the SARS back in 2003, how severe that could be, causing a lot of death. So we have to use the very traditional tools to stop the virus. The best way to stop the virus is to isolate people who are infected, making sure that other people do not come into encounter with these people, so the transmission line will be cut. So even today, we are doing that. It is very costly, but people understand the policy and understands the government. And so even today, we are still applying the zero tolerance policy towards COVID, because we think till now it is the best policy, although 98% of the Chinese population have been vaccinated twice. But since it is still new, we don't have the cure, so we need to continue with the traditional tools to stop the COVID.
That's why when I was in China, I saw a lot of people taking a lot of herbs.
Yeah.
Would you attribute your success to the traditional means?
Yeah, the traditional Chinese medicine is also very, very important in treating this coronavirus.
Okay.
I tell you a personal experience.
Yeah.
One of my classmates, very close classmates, who went to London to attend his son's graduation ceremony 3 months ago, and he and his wife were infected. So they didn't have anywhere to attend to, so they attend to me. They know that Chinese embassy has some traditional Chinese medicines for this. So I immediately telephoned my colleagues in Chinese embassy in London, and my colleagues immediately sent this traditional Chinese medicine to the couple on the same day. So they start taking that. Only 3 days, all the symptoms went away, and in 2 weeks' time, negative. So that has proven the power of the traditional Chinese medicine. Yes.
Let's talk about how you have been able to alleviate your people, the Chinese people, from poverty. China, as you have rightly said, was once a poor country. But if you are in China today, it's, for lack of a better word, first-class world. How have you been able to achieve so much more in a short period of time?
As I said, it is all due to the Communist Party of China. Communist Party of China was founded on July 1st, 1921. During those times, China was very, very poor.
Yeah, I'm told.
Yes. And then China continued to be poor until 1949, October 1st, when the People's Republic of China was founded by the Communist Party of China. And but the population and the country was still poor. So, and I think it's the determination to turn China into a strong and prosperous, affluent country and people in the world makes the members of the Communist Party to strive for the ideal to eradicate poverty in the country. So from 1949 onwards till today, generations of Chinese Communist Party members have been doing this job consecutively without stop through perseverance and persistence. So leadership is the key. Right strategy is another key. And accountability and responsibility of government officials at all levels is the key. So combined with all this, you have to put people in your heart all the time.
Yeah.
You visit the people in the countryside. You live with the people in the mud caves, and you will know how to address the poverty issue throughout the country. And we have adopted what we call the targeted poverty eradication programs. It is different from village to village.
But much as you are heaping praises on the Communist People's Party of China,
Communist Party of China.
Communist Party of China, others have their own reservations that maybe communism may not be the solution in the modern era, and that the people's rights are suppressed, and you have heard all the accusations leveled against the CPC. How would you counteract those assertions?
Well, when I come across these assertions,
Yeah.
I often ask myself a question. Is it good for 100 people to be rich, or is it good and desirable for the population and humanity to be rich altogether? So the answer is very simple. So in any society,
Yeah.
if a handful of people are rich, and I think the country could be hijacked, and all the other people will work for only few, not for themselves. In China, we are adopting the policy of collective prosperity. We want everybody to enjoy a better life,
Yeah.
not only a few. So this is not communism. This is what we call a collective prosperity. But in the end, I believe in communism,
Yeah.
because people, as if are in a commune, we interact with each other, we work together
Yeah.
for everybody, not only for a few, as I said. So I believe the economic system, of course, has to be tailored to the real conditions in any country. So one of the of China's achievements is that we have found a strategy for development that is suitable for my country. And I believe every other country, including Malawi, should also to find its own path of development.
When I was in China last year, 2021, studying at Peking University, the impression that I got is that China is competing probably at the same wavelength with America. When you hear lecturers speak or senior government speak, you might even get the feeling that maybe there are some serious arguments between China and America. What's going on? Are you at any kind of confrontation with America?
No, actually, we are developing for ourselves. We are not competing with anybody. Just like a little boy has to grow up.
Yeah.
And you cannot stop him.
Yeah.
You say, you cannot become as big as me.
Yeah.
This is nonsense. Because I'm growing with my people, with our energy, with our talents, with our professions, with our expertise, with our history, with our tradition. We are developing in this piece of land. And people love this
and I must say that I saw that China is indeed developing.
Yes. Yes.
Great standards.
Yeah.
Do you think America is envious of what you're doing in China?
I don't know whether they're envious or not, but actually from the actions and words they are speaking or they are doing, and I think that is wrong, because we are, as I said, we are developing for the Chinese people. We are not developing China at the expense of others. We are not containing others. We are not fighting others. We don't have military bases around the world. We do business. We develop our own technologies. You know what? The space station today, the Tiangong in the sky, is solely of Chinese technology, because we have been sanctioned all these years with the space technologies. But we do have the scientists who can do the wonder. And China is, and I think, one of the two countries who are capable of deploying a space station in the sky. The other one, that international station is going to finish in the years ahead.
Yeah.
The only space station remains in the sky above the Earth is the Chinese Tiangong. And we are going to conduct a lot of international research. You know, we have been denied access to any American space technologies, any technologies now.
And where is this beef coming from?
From, you mean the technology?
No, I mean there's some sort of confrontation or competition with America. Where is it coming from?
Come from them. And definitely they feel that we are developing too fast.
And you shouldn't develop?
Of course we should. Just like I've been thinking, if your neighbor is getting richer and richer than you, how you should feel? You should feel happy for him. You should admire him that you do the same, or you want to do anything to undermine their success. And I think that the former one is the right way to pursue.
And to conclude this matter, you are of the view that America is not happy with success of China.
This is what they say.
Let's talk about Chinese products.
Mhm.
What are you doing to change the perception that products that come to Africa are of low quality? Chinese products are associated with the low quality. Are you aware of
Yes.
this perception? And what is the Chinese government doing about it?
But I think we have been asking the Chinese business people who do business in Africa to do the real business with the quality products, and of course, and the poor quality products are cheaper and is not durable compare with products that we sell in China or elsewhere around the world. And mainly, I know they order some of the products from Africa factories.
Okay.
Yes, and where they could buy cheap and sell there, and they purchase globally. Not all those products come from Chinese market. They could come from anywhere around the world, including Africa, including Southeast Asia, including Southern Asian countries,
Yeah.
for instance. But I think gradually they are going to, they have to take care of their business through selling quality products. Otherwise, they cannot sustain. This is what I tell them.
As you wind up your tour of duty, what next?
Beijing, back to Beijing.
To do what?
To continue the job as a diplomat.
Okay. So you might be posted elsewhere?
I don't know. It depends. It depends.
What would be your word to Malawian diplomats sent around the world on how to be an effective diplomat as you have been to Malawi?
But I think being a diplomat everywhere is the same. The requirements are the same. To the Chinese diplomat, and first of all, you have to be a patriot. You have to do your job safeguarding the national interests, to serve your people. Here in Malawi, you have to serve the Chinese people in the Chinese community here, and to consolidate bilateral relationship through political exchanges, through economic and trade and investment cooperation. And you need to meet the people all the time, to talk to the people in order to understand the country better. So, and I think that is my experience of being a Chinese diplomat through all these years.
As we wind up, Your Excellency, I want you to look at that camera. What would be your parting words to Malawians watching us tonight?
Yeah, I just want to say to my dear Malawian people, Dimagunda Malawi.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Thank you.
You love Malawi.
Yes, I love very much.
Do you want to go further with the Chichewa, or that's enough?
That's enough. That's enough. Yeah.
Ambassador Liu Hongyang, the outgoing Chinese ambassador to Malawi. What a great honor and privilege to have you tonight in this edition of Times Exclusive. On behalf of the management of Times, which you have visited many times in Blantyre, and indeed on my very own behalf, I would like to thank you most kindly for the love that you have shown to Malawi and the love that you have shown also to me as an individual, because it was during your tenure that I was privileged to go not only visit, but to learn in China. So I'm profoundly honored to having interacted and met with you. I personally wish you the very best of luck as you travel back to China. And please take our greetings to the People's Republic of China.
Thank you very much, Brian. Thank you.
Well, on that note, we conclude this week's edition of Times Exclusive. In this edition of the program, I've been talking to Ambassador Liu Hongyang, the outgoing ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Malawi. My name is Brian Banda, and from all of us here at the Chinese Embassy in Lilongwe, wishing you the very best of the evening, and goodbye.